The episode begins in a dimly lit room, with the morning light barely breaking through the drawn curtains. The atmosphere is heavy with tension as Eva slowly awakens, her mind groggy from the events of the previous night. Her body feels weak, a sharp pain in her side pulling her into full consciousness. As her eyes adjust to the low light, she notices a bandage wrapped around her abdomen, the memory of the attack flooding back with sudden clarity. Eva's heart races as she pushes herself to sit up, scanning the unfamiliar room. It's small, cluttered, and clearly lived in, but nothing about it feels comforting. The walls are lined with old photographs, dusty books, and scattered papers, a stark contrast to the sleek, modern design of her own apartment. The unease grows as she takes in her surroundings, realizing that she has no idea where she is or how she got here. With a deep breath, Eva swings her legs over the side of the bed, the cold floor sending a shiver through her body. Every movement is careful and deliberate, the pain in her side a constant reminder of her vulnerability. She stands, gripping the edge of a nearby table for support as she steadies herself. The door across the room looms large, the only exit from this unknown place. Eva takes a tentative step forward, then another, her hand reaching out to the door handle. The wood is cold under her fingertips, and the door creaks ominously as it swings open. Beyond it lies a narrow hallway, dimly lit and lined with peeling wallpaper. The silence is oppressive, broken only by the distant hum of a refrigerator or the creak of an old floorboard. The camera follows her as she steps into the hallway, her senses on high alert. As she moves cautiously through the corridor, the camera captures the details, the faded photographs on the walls, the dust motes floating in the weak light, the sense that this place hasn't seen much life in a long time. Eva's breath is shallow, her footsteps almost silent as she approaches the end of the hallway. She pauses for a moment, gathering her courage before pushing open the door at the far end. The room she enters is a small living area, cluttered with old furniture and stacks of books and newspapers. The air is thick with dust, and the light filtering through the closed blinds casts long shadows across the floor. And then she sees Liam, standing by the window, his back turned to her. The tension is immediate, the atmosphere charged with unspoken words and hidden truths. Liam turns slowly, his expression a mix of relief and something darker, something that sets off alarms in Eva's mind. He steps toward her, his movements careful, as if he's unsure of how she'll react. Eva's eyes narrow, her mind racing as she tries to piece together the fragments of her memory, the flash of a knife, the shadowy figure in the alley, the pain that tore through her side. Liam begins to speak, his voice low and filled with concern. He tells her that he found her bleeding and unconscious in the alleyway, that he brought her here to keep her safe. But as the words spill from his lips, Eva senses that something is off. There's a hesitation in his voice, a reluctance to meet her eyes. The camera lingers on his face, capturing the flicker of guilt that he tries to hide. Eva, her voice trembling with a mix of fear and anger, demands to know the truth. She presses him, her questions sharp and relentless. But before Liam can respond, the sound of a door creaking open interrupts them. Both of them turn, the tension in the room thickening as Mia steps into the doorway. Her expression is calm, almost cold, as she surveys the scene. Mia's presence only adds to the unease. She speaks with authority, telling them that they're not safe here, that they need to leave immediately. Liam hesitates, his eyes flicking back to Eva, but Mia's insistence leaves no room for argument. They gather what little they have and follow Mia out of the apartment, the sense of urgency propelling them forward. The scene shifts to the darkened streets of the city, the camera capturing their hurried movements as they navigate through narrow alleys and deserted roads. The city, usually alive with activity, now feels oppressive, the silence broken only by the distant hum of traffic or the occasional flicker of a streetlight. The camera stays close, heightening the sense of tension and danger as they make their way to an old, abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. The warehouse is a relic of the past, its once bustling halls now filled with decay and darkness. The door creaks loudly as they push it open, the sound echoing through the empty space. Inside, the air is thick with dust, the floor covered in debris and the remnants of a life long gone. The camera pans across the scene, capturing the eerie atmosphere as they make their way deeper into the building. They reach a small room at the back of the warehouse, its door barely hanging on its hinges. Inside, they gather around a rickety table, the dim light from a single bulb casting long shadows across their faces. Mia pulls out a map, spreading it out on the table, her movements precise and calculated. She begins to outline their next steps, her voice steady, but there's an underlying tension that suggests she's not telling them everything. Eva, her mind still reeling from the events of the past 24 hours, struggles to focus on the plan. Her thoughts are consumed by the memory of the attack, the fear that gripped her as she fought for her life, and the questions that have gone unanswered. She interrupts Mia, her voice filled with desperation, demanding to know who was after them and why. The camera captures the shift in the room's atmosphere as Mia's calm demeanor falters, the truth weighing heavily on her shoulders. Mia finally reveals that they're being hunted by Aiden, a powerful figure with connections to dangerous people. The name sends a shock through Eva's system, the camera zooming in on her face as she recalls the whispers of Aiden's name from her past. The stories of a man involved in dark dealings, someone who could ruin lives with a single word. The fear is palpable as Eva realizes just how deep she's been pulled into this deadly game. The sound of footsteps echoes through the warehouse, snapping them back to the present. The camera captures their reactions, Mia's hand instinctively reaching for a weapon, Liam moving to shield Eva, and Eva's wide-eyed fear as she realizes they're not alone. The tension builds to a breaking point as the footsteps grow louder, closer. The door to the room bursts open, and chaos ensues as Aiden's men storm in, their presence overwhelming. The camera captures the frantic movements, the panic in their eyes as they scramble to defend themselves. The scene is a blur of action, the clash of bodies, the sound of gunfire, the shouts and screams as they fight for survival. In the chaos, Eva is separated from Liam and Mia, the camera following her as she runs through the labyrinthine corridors of the warehouse. The walls seem to close in around her, the shadows growing darker with every step. The sound of footsteps behind her is relentless, driving her forward even as exhaustion threatens to overtake her. Just when it seems like she's cornered, a door ahead of her swings open, and she's pulled into a dark room. The camera captures the relief and confusion on her face as she realizes she's been saved. But as the door slams shut and the sound of footsteps fades, the reality sets in. She's alone in the dark, with no idea who her savior is or what awaits her.